Forgive us our daily bread. Actually, I don't know. What is the Lord's Prayer, Will?
I don't know, because I was never brought up in a religious school.
Let's get it up. The Lord's Prayer. Quiz question.
Oh.
Who, without... Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from hell. Here's a question. At the Freddie Mercury AIDS tribute concert,
Yes.
who got down on one knee, completely improvised and unexpected, rather, didn't tell anybody, and performed. He just read the Lord's Prayer.
Springsteen.
It was David Bowie. I don't even know. Was Bruce Springsteen there?
I don't know.
Let's do Freddie Mercury. It was called the Phoenix AIDS concert, wasn't it? Phoenix Trust. Phoenix Trust concert. And oh, come on, just give me a Wikipedia list for chuff's sake. Freddie Mercury AIDS concert performers. Here we are. So the lineup was, without Queen, Metallica did Enter Sandman. Not even doing a Queen song. Def Leppard also did just their own songs. U2 Until the End of the World. Spinal Tap made an appearance. Guns N' Roses did Paradise City and Knocking on Heaven's Door. Oh my word. And then Queen came out. Heaven and Hell. Roger Daltrey came out, did Pinball Wizard. Into I Want It All. Robert Plant came out and did Innuendo and Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Paul Young and Queen, Radio Gaga. Queen and Seal, Who Wants to Live Forever. Queen and Lisa Stansfield, I Want to Break Free.
Was it Annie Lennox?
It was
Bowie.
Annie Lennox and David Bowie, yeah. Who did Under Pressure. And then, did I say that Bowie did the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah, yes, that was our opening.
Queen and David Bowie doing Heroes. Oh, it's actually credited David Bowie, Lord's Prayer. Queen and George Michael did Somebody to Love and These Are the Days of Our Lives. Here's a question. Queen and Elton John did two songs.
Both Queen songs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a think. Don't Stop Me Now.
No, Bohemian Rhapsody and The Show Must Go On.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Mm. Queen and Axl Rose, We Will Rock You. And then Queen and Liza did We Are the Champions. Huh. What a wonderful send-off.
Yeah.
So today we're not talking about the Freddie Mercury AIDS tribute concert. We're talking about the movie Doubt.
I want you all to be alert. I am concerned about matters in St. Nicholas School.
Academically?
I was not inviting a guessing game, Sister Raymond. What's this, Mr. Conroy?
I don't know, Sister. They're all uniformly terrified of you.
That's how it works.
Boy! Come up here.
The dragon is hungry.
So, 1, 2, 3.
It's a new time, sister. The church needs to change.
The point being?
We should be friendlier.
Father Flynn, he called Donald Miller to the rectory.
So, it's happened.
From 2008. From the play by John Patrick Shanley, written and directed by John Patrick Shanley. And it follows two sisters. Sister Aloysius, played by Meryl Streep. This is, of course, our final Meryl Mania film. And Sister James, played wonderfully by Amy Adams. and the new father at the parish, Father Flynn.
We are going to have to stop him ourselves. What happened in the rectory?
Happened? Nothing happened. I had a talk with a boy.
What about?
Private matter.
He's 12 years old. What could be private?
You haven't the slightest proof of anything.
But I have my certainty.
I can fight you.
You will lose.
Why you gotta know something like that for sure when you don't? You come to your school, kids don't like them. One man is good to him, this priest.
And there is ultimately a question about his inappropriate conduct, perhaps.
I suspect Tom's big question coming up later on.
Oh, I've got a pretty solid theory, I think.
Oh.
With the first black student, it's the 60s, it's 64. The first black student, Donald Miller. Now, Will, I believe this was a Virgin Watch.
It was.
Did you know anything?
I knew it was about Meryl Streep accusing Phillip Seymour Hoffman of being a paedophile. That's what I knew because of it was publicised. It was quite big in 2008. It seems ages ago, but now I can remember it being about. Sad that we had to lose him so soon after that.
It is indeed. I mean, yeah, it's terrible, really. Let's jump this now.
Yeah.
Best Phillip Seymour Hoffman movie. No, best Phillip Seymour Hoffman performance. Because
for multiple.
I love Big Lebowski, but he's only in it for a bit. However, Phillip Seymour Hoffman in The Big Lebowski is one of his best performances.
Boogie Nights is great in that.
It's enough to break your heart. The scene in the car where he tries to kiss Dirk and he goes, "You're so stupid! You're so stupid!" Oh, it's brilliant.
I think my favourite performance is in Along Came Polly, where he just plays this egotistical. But he's great. He's brilliant, and he just
slap her a little.
And he does the whole Jesus Christ Superstar. That's a great scene.
Why do you want to know? Yeah. No, he is excellent in it.
Yeah, he's the best part of that film.
He's excellent in everything. He's a wonderful talent who we unfortunately lost.
Yeah.
I remember the last film he was in technically was one of the Hunger Games movies. And it was a scene where it was him and Julianne Moore. And I thought, good God, why am I wasting my time with this movie? I should be celebrating this man's life by watching Magnolia or Boogie Nights, two of the other great movies where he has wonderful scenes with Julianne Moore. And him and that whole it stretches out into the other plots, but the Tom Cruise, Jason Robards, Phillip Seymour Hoffman, Julianne Moore plots of Magnolia is probably my favourite story. But I don't want to give too much away because you haven't seen Magnolia.
He turns up in Red Dragon as well, doesn't he?
He sure does, as Freddie Lowndes. Have you watched Red Dragon now?
I've yeah.
What a film. He gets burned.
The burning wheelchair, yeah.
That's a bad way to go.
It's horrific,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, my God. And the bite of the... It's even more graphic in the TV show when we get to the TV show. Jesus.
That's going to be my summer project.
I am the Red Dragon. Who's the best villain of the? We'll exclude Manhunter. We'll just do, and obviously we'll exclude Hannibal Rising. Hannibal Rising shit. Is it Buffalo Bill? And actually, let's exclude Hannibal. Because to me, he's the hero of those movies. Is it Buffalo Bill? Is it Mason Verger? Or is it Francis Dolarhyde, the Red Dragon?
See, the problem you've got is you can only base it on what the films are, and they get more graphic as they go along. So you could say Red Dragon is worse because we see a lot more violence. But it's got to be Buffalo Bill for me as my favourite villain. Yeah.
They're all very entertaining, which is one of my. Yeah, I've got an immense amount of mileage out of. I wish, in a way, more people watch Hannibal and Red Dragon so that more people know how good my Mason Verger and my Francis Dolarhyde are. And also that Mason Verger is easier, but Francis Dolarhyde, you have to really shout. And so it's a hard impression to do without really alienating people, without screaming, I am the Red Dragon, and you shall. So it really frightens people. But no, I really do love Phillip Seymour Hoffman. And I think that this is maybe 3, maybe 3rd. I don't know. I'd have to go Master. Oh, Capote's good. He did win his Oscar for Capote as well.
Sure did.
I'll have to. I'll get a proper ranking when it comes to the next Phillip Seymour Hoffman episode. I will rank my top 5. So, opening line Hall of Fame. Get up, Jimmy. So obviously we can talk about this now. The play is obviously expanded and adapted by Shanley himself, and I think this film does a wonderful job of expanding without it being gratuitous, without it taking away from anything. I think it's wonderful with the introduction. It has the great thing. Harold Pinter's favourite adaptation of one of his works was the film of Betrayal, because the play is just the 3 cheating adults on the stage. He loved the play. He loved the film because finally, in all of these scenes, you can hear the kids in the background. You've got kids running through the shots, and it's a whole different context. It's not just these 3 people. This adultery is going to lead to divorces, which is going to lead to these children, being thrown about willy-nilly. It's very effective. YouTube comments. Wow, just finished watching. Total feel-good movie of darkness, depression, and sadness. Make you feel good. Those don't make sense. But then, Zoolander is more my genre.
I mean, yeah, it's a great genre.
A lot of people doing. I came here from Gavin and Stacey, the wonderful scene where the annoying Welsh woman. Oh, you haven't watched Gavin and Stacey, have you?
I've not.
It's like it's the hen party, and she brings doubt because she doesn't know what other film.
Oh, no.
And then it ends, and they go, "Oh, I don't get it. There's just so much doubt." It's okay. A lot of yelling from supposed holy people. No one is perfect. So did he or did he not? I don't feel like watching the movie. I thought that was. I started reading that thinking somebody who has watched it. Dear God. Every time I see Miramax in the beginning of some movie trailer, I think of that Weinstein guy. I mean, that is true. You can't get around that. The 5-minute scene between Streep and Davis is a masterclass in acting. Viola does more in that scene than most do in their whole careers, and I have to agree wholeheartedly. I'm sure it'll be a 10-minute stretch, but
I'll say that's
incredible.
5 minutes. It's my 10-minute. That final confrontation, wonderful.
That incredible, that's the turning point where Meryl and talks with Mrs. Miller, and you're like, okay, we expect it to go one way. It's they're gonna I don't know, grab guns, and they're gonna come into start shooting at the school, and like, hey, come here, Father Flint, and then I mean, we don't obviously expect that, but it just suddenly changes on a dime of, well, let him. It's till June, and then because it's 64. This is a young black kid who could be gay. It's alluded to, with Mrs. Miller talking about her is his nature, and whether he is gay or not is up for question. the film that Meryl Streep should have won the Oscar for Best Actress instead of The Iron Lady. I mean, she's won a lot. So
she should. I agree.
This
Iron
is
Lady.
definitely better than The Iron Lady. There's no doubt about that.
Iron Lady was sort of the one where they say, right, she's done a lot. We'll give it to her this year because she's been.
But she's already won two. But she's already won for Sophie's Choice and Kramer versus Kramer. They do that with her Julianne Moore or for Still Alice. I mean, Still Alice was excellent and she was great in it, but it was a bit of a gimme. It was like, okay, yeah, no, this is Julianne, which is why actually Glenn Close was top for the Bookies this past year for The Wife, but good old Olivia Colman, nope, I'm the favourite. And
she was fantastic.
She was astounding. Definitely better than Glenn Close in The Wife. A pretty bad movie.
I'd not heard of The Wife before she was nominated for it now. I love Glenn Close, especially in Hook.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. All the films, especially in Hook. Vatican City Business. That's from Shirley Palmer. Will, I'll let you choose again. Do you want to start with 10 or do you want to start 10 or single?
I'll do 10.
Shoot.
I will always do 10. 10 is my one. It's just that one time, Tom. That one time.
Okay.
Shoot. You contenders. Obviously the one we've I'm sure we'll get to that when you want to talk about yours, but the scene that really got it for me was that when she finally gets him in the office near the end, and they just...
Or rather, he gets her.
Oh, yeah?
No, there has to be a third party.
And
Not
he
anymore.
shuts the door.
No. No third party. You're sorting this out now. You're going to speak.
It's one of those scenes where it's a wonderful payoff because you've just got a whole sort of hour previous building up the tension, building up the thoughts in your head, and then it just snaps into action. And it's just two actors at their best acting it. I've
Well, this is the thing. I've not even bothered putting this on in front of my family because, I mean, my mum has the classic argument. She always says, "I can appreciate the acting, but I thought not much happened." She always says that. That's if it's a movie that she doesn't like, but other people have said is excellent, like The Favourite. She didn't like The Favourite, and she said, "I can really appreciate the acting." So not my time. Isabel just says nothing happened. It doesn't matter whether it's the amount of films where she says nothing happens. When an abundance of things happen, I'd love to show her some German art film by Michael Haneke, and that's something where nothing happens. You know,
or Lost in Translation.
Yeah, but see, I get the whole nothing happens thing, but Lost in Translation has a lot going anyway. And then I always say, well, you can do far worse. I'll use this as an example. You can do far worse than watching 20 minutes of Meryl Streep and Phillip Seymour Hoffman going 20 minutes of Meryl Streep and Phillip Seymour Hoffman going at it would be a very different film. But you can do far worse than watch that. My dad's famous one is, he always goes back to, it's like when we watched that film that we're all set in one room, and it was that Carnage with Jodie Foster and John C. Reilly and Christoph Waltz and Kate Winslet. And it's based on a play, and they didn't really expand it because you couldn't. And so it was set in one room. And it's not spectacular. It's not terrific. But again, you can do far worse than Jodie Foster, Kate Winslet, John C. Reilly, and Christoph. They're like four of your favorite people. And I think the film's pretty good, but alas. Continue with your 10.
It's Oh no.
No. Okay.
I just can't understand my notes today. I've just
Okay,
written very strange things.
Well, here are some of my nominations. Obviously, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
First, Amy and Meryl, where it gets brought up, and you've got the. Also, I love that it's a breathing, living world. These scenes in the play are just James and Aloysius. In this, you get the cat coming in, you get the dead rat. These little interruptions that make the world, make it breathe, and make these scenes even more tense. At any minute, somebody can come in and they could be saying the wrong thing. I love the pageant discussion, which leads into him revealing that Donald was drinking the parlour wine, and Amy's lovely little jump up where she goes, "Oh, wonderful! Well, it's all sorted then. That's fine." And Amy's lovely little snap at Meryl. "I like Frosty the Snowman, and you don't like him that he has 3 cups of sugar in his tea." Three cubes of sugar in his tea.
3 cups of sugar. Wow, that's
a
the sort
lot
of thing
of
you
sugar.
have.
And then the final, Meryl and Phillip.
Yeah.
Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film. I love Meryl's intro, where we just see her from the back.
Oh, and then she goes, ooh, bends down.
Sit up. I love the kid that just whacks himself, just fully launches himself.
He goes for it. He's gonna be big. He's shown early commitment.
What do you do when you're not sure? That's the topic of my sermon today. You look for God's direction and can't find it. Last year, when President Kennedy was assassinated, who among us did not experience the most profound disorientation, despair?
I feel separated from the children.
That's as it should be.
But I feel wrong. About this other matter, I don't have any evidence. I am not at all certain that anything's happened.
We can't wait for that.
But what if it's nothing?
Then it's nothing. I wouldn't mind being wrong, but I doubt I am.
Then what's to be done?
I don't know.
You'll know what to do.
I love when William London touches Sister James, and then Meryl, "William London!" When he just taps her, and then Philip goes, "The dragon's hungry." I imagine I get my fun facts from a variety of sources, but that I'm flabbergasted because people put IMDb trivia in themselves. I am surprised that somebody hasn't done the trivia of, in this film, Phillip Seymour Hoffman says the dragon is hungry. In 2005, Phillip Seymour Hoffman was in Red Dragon. Because that's exactly the sort of thing that shows up all the time in those IMDb trivias. Yeah. I love the poor blind sister when she's trying to get the fork and Meryl helps her. Oh, I thought you'd froze.
Oh no, Ace. Well, stop there. Mate. Your computer's playing up.
My computer's playing up.
Yeah. Well, now you've gone a bit. You froze for a bit.
How am I now?
You're fine now.
How am I now? Punching people. When Meryl, oh shitting hell. When somebody goes, well, either that or you've been going around punching people. I love when poor Donald drops his papers and Philip comes to hug him. It's an odd one because depending on your reading of the film, that's either a terrifying scene or a very sweet scene. Right, I'm going to say my theory now because I think it's going to colour the rest of the conversation.
Oh, can I say?
Oh yes, do your virgin
black
theory.
and white statement. Not. Oh, okay. I'm going to theory as such. I watched this film and I think yes, he is guilty.
I don't think he did anything with Donald. Are you ready for my theory? I do think he molested William.
It was Amy.
No, I do think he touched William. because lots of little things. William's face, anytime he looks at Father O'Flynn, apart from the final scene where he smiles a little, which you could see as, you know, through, you know, a fucked up, trauma-ridden mind, you know.
Well, you've even got that bit, yeah.
Yeah.
When they're playing basketball and he's sat on the floor and he shies away. Yeah.
The green juice scene, he looks terrified of him. It's like a close-up. These are very specific choices that Shanley has made. This is very specific filmmaker. I don't think they're just in there for frivolity. I think they're there for a reason. In the pageant scene, there is a mention of William London, and Father O'Flynn goes, "Oh, right, yeah." I don't think he did anything with Donald. I do think something with William. Sneeze. And that drop the mic. Sneeze and drop the mic. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I completely agree.
But you were pretty firm on
I was pretty
being with Donald.
No, I said he was guilty. I think he was definitely a paedophile.
Yeah. Well, it's the classic. It's the final twist. Well, not twist, but it's the final thing of
the spotlight problem. That's what it could be called from now on.
No, but the final thing of Meryl. He left because I told him that I called another parish.
Yeah.
I never called another parish. Now that could be that he has gone through this exact same problem before, with false accusations. Or it could be
he's been caught before.
I think. And it's
the
the classic thing. I'm not going to say which film. It's an upcoming film, and it's a reveal late in the film that man is a pedophile and a rapist. However, up until that point, he's the most lovable man. You feel for him, you cry for him, and it is the testament of that performance and the performance of Phillip Seymour Hoffman in this film that I still feel for him and question everything.
But that's the beauty of the film. It's even though at the end of the day he's a monster.
I have doubts. I have such doubts.
Still feel
Where
like
is he?
that.
This is the thing. This William London theory has only come up for me this last time I watched it, and it's not come from outside reading of Reddit boards or whatever. I don't know if there are any Reddit boards dedicated to this, but I've watched it fully times, thinking, oh wait, no, this is the story of a man falsely accused and the terror that lies in that. And then there are times where I've watched it and gone, oh no, this is a systemic, what's the word? Where it keeps doing it. Anyway, this is a serial rapist. It's not serial. It's another word, but yeah.
Repeat offender.
Yeah. Who knows? And then, as I say, my other favourite specific moment, I made no such call. Don't know what that voice was. Bye, Dad. One for a glimpse behind the curtain for the viewers. And then I love the staging of the four at the door. When Meryl, Mrs. Miller, Philip, who's grabbed little Jimmy. And then I also love Jimmy's bullshit. What did you say? That too. Will's more general favourite part of the film.
I love the bit where Amy Adams spits out the food and then she has to put it back in her mouth.
Oh my God! So what was it? It was like gristly beef, wasn't it?
Yeah, like obviously because this reminded me of like it's the sort of thing your gran says or your mum like why are you eating your gristle? It's the best bit. It's not, is it?
I mean I clear a place.
You say
I'm a fat bastard.
You like your.
I'm not fat, but I like my food and a little bit of a tummy. I'm not going to stand up and show the audience.
This is why we both film from this from this height upwards.
I'm completely nude. I am wearing a polo, and that is it. I want to podcast with you wearing this. Only this. Upcoming episode of Titanic.
It just looked vile. I loved the whole basketball scene. Because it reminded me of his character in Along Came Polly. in that scene where there's the really sweaty, hairy men rubbing against. It's great.
Yeah.
But also,
have you noticed? Sorry to interrupt. Have you noticed that keeps happening? Where we sync up on our ums.
Oh, you didn't do it that time.
Maybe no, we did. But. Maybe it's because we've been recording too many of these in a row, but we are starting to. Yeah. We're becoming what? Look, we're both wearing blue.
Oh no! You'll dye your hair blonde soon.
No, it's like single white female.
Might grow another foot.
What?
I'm smaller than you.
Oh, some reason I jumped straight to. I don't have 3 legs. Will, what are you talking about?
You don't.
No, as I say, film from here. Me and Will have never actually met each other. Who are you? Your general favourite parts of film?
Yes, I love the whole the priest conversation at dinner where they're just having a laugh, and Philip's talking about the really fat mother.
How was
and then
the daughter?
How it suddenly just.
She was fat.
And then I like the contrast, how it suddenly just cuts to the Meryl scene and it's just silence. But then what really annoys me in that, they're all having a glass of milk. You're a person. You
here we go.
You fly for the milk, don't you? You like
so.
This
is an American thing. Previous guest Ava Robinson informed me of this. They have glasses of milk with like their dinners. I have seen Ava eat whole meals of like meats or salmons.
I can't have a glass of milk anyway. There's nothing enjoyable about a glass of milk.
No, fresh. Not to try your fresh milk from your farm.
They used to, at my primary school, they used to serve glasses of milk as a dessert.
Were you living in poverty?
No, like, they'd sat out all day, these glasses of milk in these, like, plastic, and it was just
so it was
awful.
warm.
So you'd be on, like, the conveyor, and the person to the left of you gets the last piece of chocolate cake and custard and whatever, and then, oh, sorry, no more cake.
Glass of milk.
And so I started a
Roald
revolution.
Dahl.
I started a kind of revolution that week, in which I gathered together a group of disciples, and we got it's very, very Manson family-esque.
I was going to go for Christ. You did have
right.
biblical imagery. I was getting Kim Woodburn flashbacks. Then they go. What did she say? What did they say to her? Well, they hated Jesus too. They crucified Christ.
we got like a petition round to stop milk being served as a dessert, and then the deputy head got me to write a letter to the food company. I wrote a very well-written, strongly worded letter. They removed milk off the menu, and now I am the reason why that school.
That film they made about this big event.
Yeah, I'm now the reason why that school has a problem with calcium deficiency. Because no one drinks milk.
So now, if they run out of cake?
Yeah, if they run out of cake, fruit salad.
So you're Jamie Oliver, basically.
I inspired Jamie Oliver. No, that's a fun story. Very fun story.
It is a fun story.
Anti-health from a young age. And that's why I'm not tall, because I didn't drink enough milk.
You and Margaret Thatcher stealing the milk from the children.
What a scene when she's trying to buy the milk in The Iron Lady.
Oh, what a bad film. What a bad film. It's time for the Oscar travesty. So this was Slumdog Year.
Oh, there we go.
Doubt, nothing for Best Picture, nothing for Best Director. Just travesty, really. Your 5 nominees: Slumdog, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Frost Nixon, Milk, and The Reader. All fine films.
I've not seen Milk, but I think
I
wouldn't like it.
Is that because you fought for gay rights? Yeah, no, how very odd that Milk.
Yeah.
That Milk
and
was...
yeah.
This was one of Sean's. This was.
I'm not a Sean Penn fan.
Aren't you?
He looks weird.
I'm trying to think of the Sean Penn movies I really like. I do really like Milk, and I do think he's excellent as Harry.
What's the film where there's like I'm not sure what he is. No, let me describe the movie. There's like
Sweet and the Loader.
There's like a big UN conference, and there's a translator, and then he gets into bother, and he's trying to run away from a house. That's all I've seen. Do you know what I'm on about?
No, let's have a look. Sean Penn. We'll return to this. I have no idea. I mean, the assassination of Richard Nixon. It's not that though. It sounds to me like a political movie, like a political thriller. Let's have a look. No. I want a filmography. multiple controversies. Falkland Islands, defense of Hugo Chavez. That's what you want. Acting. Just give me a filmography. Oh.
Just type Sean Penn movies into...
The Falcon and the Snowman sounds like a...
Oh, that's an old one.
Dead Man Walking? Dead Man Walking. Good.
Might be Dead Man Walking.
Where he's... Oh. That's where he's... It's him and Susan Sarandon, and he's on death row.
Oh no, I think he's a police officer.
Oh, this looks right. All the King's Men. That sound. Fair Game. Oh, is it this? That sound. Yeah, no, it's fair. I think it's Fair Game. Oh, it's set in the UN.
That's it.
Naomi Watts. Yeah. Oh, hi! I'm very excitable today. Right, we can go back to this now. Fair Game, UN thriller. Was it good?
No. Very bad.
Definitely. I think get John Patrick Shanley in Best Director. Let's bump. I think I'm the no. Milk's very good. I think I'm.
We love Curious Case.
Yeah, I love Curious Case. Yeah, I think I personally bump either Frost Nixon or The Reader. I think The Reader can be quite dull at points.
I think I bump The Reader. I do enjoy Frost Nixon.
Yeah, Frost Nixon's more enjoyable. So they put Phillip in supporting actor. Now, here's a question. Is this or is this not the best supporting actor ever? Michael Shannon in Revolutionary Road, Phillip Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, Josh Brolin in Milk, Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder. Your winner is Heath Ledger as the Joker. Is this the I mean,
that's a great...
Probably The Godfather, because they had like 4 for that first one.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty excellent stack. I think we have to say that Heath deserves it.
Heath does win.
I don't know why they didn't put Phillip in for Best Actor. I think
that's a strange one.
I think
maybe
actually I mean it's all politics. It's all politics. He probably went in supporting actor because at the time everyone thought Mickey Rourke was going to win for The Wrestler, and then Sean Penn swooped in. I think The Wrestler is a far better film. B, I think Mickey Rourke is the best actor of this year. That's it really. I think we probably have to stick with Heath. I think actually we'll have a bigger conversation about this on the Tropic Thunder episode, because I think you could make more of an argument for Downey Jr. than you could Phillip Seymour Hoffman. Both Amy Adams and Viola Davis in supporting actress. Now I love Woody Allen, I love Vicky Cristina Barcelona, and I think Penelope Cruz is the winner. Who do we think is better, Amy Adams or Viola?
Viola.
Yeah. Because we do adore Amy Adams.
The
Muppets. I mean, the winner was, of course, that same weekend where she was, where Nocturnal Animals and Arrival came out, and I watched both on one night, and I just thought, oh, this is the Meryl of our generation.
Yeah.
She's incredible in Arrival. The episode of Arrival will just be a gush session of over that astounding, heartbreaking performance. And then also Nocturnal Animals, which is a polar opposite performance. And I just watched those two back to back, and I thought, oh no, this is it. And I actually think that's why she didn't get nominated that year for Best Actress, because she split the vote. Because some people voted for her for Nocturnal and some people voted for Arrival.
Yeah.
And it just, because they were both Best Actress.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Scarlett Johansson for getting supporting for JoJo and Best Actress for this year. Best Actress, Meryl definitely worth a nomination. I think Kate Winslet in The Reader is probably a more nuanced performance, actually. I think taking nothing away from Meryl in this film. But yeah. Also, Angelina Jolie in Changeling. Wonderful film. Very, very good. Very, very rough watch. Best Adapted Screenplay, I think Doubt should be the winner. For me, there is really no question. Better than Slumdog Millionaire. I think Slumdog Millionaire is a fine film. I think, it was always going to win. But I think there are some quite cheesy moments. I think the conceit of the film is quite eye-rolling. Going through his... I mean, it does lead into the thing of with Millionaire of like, you know what you know. And
it's a fun film.
It's all right. I'm not taking anything away from Slumdog. I like Slumdog. However, we're not going to talk about it now, but In Bruges, what are you doing? Get that winning. That's one of the best screenplays of the past 20 years.
I love In Bruges. I'm very happy with Wall-E winning. I love Wall-E.
He didn't win. Oh, for animated. I thought you meant screenplay. Yeah. Also, what the fuck's happening there? Wall-E for screenplay? Are you insane? Jesus, where's Tropic Thunder? Good God. Are you having a joke? Where's Woody? The greatest screenwriter of a generation? No, Wally's better. Get it? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Wall-E is the better of Bolt and Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. Bolt, that's a throwback.
I'm going to say, God.
Yeah.
Don't know. John Travolta Miley. That was Zach Galifianakis, wasn't it? That was when they were trying to make him a big thing.
Funny guy.
Funny guy.
Have you seen Between Two Ferns?
Yes.
Yeah. It's great.
The best bit's when he asks Hillary for her email. Best single minute. I'll start. It's the pillow.
That's my best single when he's doing the sermon and he's doing his Irish accent.
And that's another thing with making it a film. It could be terribly cheesy, cutting to that wide shot of the feathers, but it works and it just grabs you and you get it. See, that's the point where I lean more into is he innocent, because the complete anger, it's easy enough to say, and obviously it's all a grey matter, but that is the anger of somebody falsely accused, and it seems real. It's not put on like I can't think of any examples, but it's not the rage of like what they're saying is wrong. It gets me every time when he goes, and that is gossip.
I've written that here, the word gossip. The way that he
absolutely, you could say terrifying, goosebump ridden. What's the pre to that? Goosebump giving, I guess. The power in Philip's voice in that moment. That is why he is the best, as we say. The two bench scenes, Philip and Amy, and Amy and Meryl, obviously at the end. And also, I very much like Philip's final sermon. That's another one where I tip. Maybe that's another point you can make. Maybe the 3 times where I go, wait a minute, is he innocent? Are where we are actually talking to just him, and we are not being told things from other people. Maybe that's again a clever way of doing that, because it's all from his perspective. You're listening to his words in that, and that's why the whole idea of a manipulation. He's making you hear what he wants. It's clever. And he has the voice. He has the power. He gets to say whatever he gets to say. That are my nominations. Any other nominations for best single minute? Well,
I've got that, and also the scene where she first brings Amy into the office and they talk about the Christmas songs. I think that's very good.
It's lovely, yeah.
It's
about Frosty the Snowman?
And it's like, yeah, we could get one of the boys to dress up as Frosty, and then Meryl goes, "Which boy?" And then a great punctuation with the blind. Goes, "Shh." See, I've written blind boy. But it's on the word boy. She pulls down the blind.
The blind. Yeah. That makes, yeah. Did you think that the blind sister was a small boy? Best line. Doubt can be a bond as powerful and sustaining as certainty. When you are lost, you are not alone. Beautiful.
I've written best line as the gossip sermon.
Yes, I do have the end of the gossip sermon. Here we go. Feathers, he repeated. Feathers everywhere, Father. Now I want you to go back and gather up every last feather that flew out into the wind. Well, she said, it can't be done. I don't know where they went. The wind took them all over. And that, said Father O'Rourke, is gossip. Incredible. Beautiful stuff. A few little ones. Where is your compassion? Nowhere you can get at it. Just great lines back and forth.
It kind of leads us on to my favourite building on set.
Oh, yes.
Which
Did
you have cut off. You have skipped.
Oh, William, I'm so sorry.
I requested one segment in this.
You didn't actually. I made all the segments, and I thought, oh, that'd be funny.
You wrote all of it. It's the church where he gives that sermon.
The woman said she was sorry and asked for forgiveness. Not so fast.
says O'Rourke. I want you to go home. Take a pillar up on your roof. Cut it open with a knife. Then return here to me. So the woman went home. Took a pillow off her bed. A knife from the drawer. Went up the fire escape to her roof. And stabbed the pillow. Then she went back to the old parish priest as instructed. Did you gut the pillow with a knife? He says. Yes, Father. And what was the result? Feathers, she said. Feathers, he repeated. Feathers everywhere, Father. Now, I want you to go back and gather up every last feather that flew out on the wind. Well, she said, it can't be done. I don't know where they went. The wind took them all over. And that, said Father O'Rourke, is gossip.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
So there you go.
It is a very nice church, and
It's
also
very nice.
it's very. It reminds me very much of the Coen Brothers, of where period. Most of the Coen Brothers films, if not all, or not all, don't know why I even said that. I know that's not true, but are period movies, and it's never drawn attention to, and that's my favorite type of period movie. Actually, is where it's not drawn attention to, where you have the throwaway line where he goes, last year when President Kennedy was assassinated, and that's all you need.
But what about the bit where Meryl says right at the end, it's 1964? What about that bit? That's subtle.
That's not, that is a worse example. But the last year when President Kennedy was assassinated, I love stuff like that. I love little throwaway lines. Yeah, it's a lot better than one of my favorite bad movies, 88 Minutes, starring Al Pacino, where it opens with 1999. The title card comes up.
Yeah.
And then it's the first murder victim reading aloud the newspaper about Diana's crash. And she goes, oh my God, Princess Diana has died. Oh, this is terrible. And then the next scene, another title card. 10 years later. As if you don't need the Diana thing when you've got the title. It's right.
The deadline's today.
A reference to me and Will's favourite GCSE piece called Emergency Service Calls. If any of the cast of Emergency Service Calls are watching this, want to come on for a Zoom reunion, we are your biggest fans. Obviously, it's we obviously have quite a dark sense of humour, but we find it greatly enjoyable in it's basically a GCSE piece, and they're trying very delicately, or no, actually they're not delicate at all, but it's about 9/11, and they do transitions by flying like airplanes, and
it's all like intercut with monologues that are verbatim, and so it suddenly goes all serious.
Well, no, they do some verbatim stuff, and then they do just these insane stories of like, what's the worst thing that she could do before she goes to work? And it's like, I hate my son, I hate my kids, I hate my husband. And then she goes to work, and somebody comes up, the deadline's today, September 11th. And
I think one of my favourite bits is the bit where her parents have just been shot, so she's like, Mummy, why are you giving me the silent treatment?
It's great. And then she sits on the kitchen table and goes, okay. And they're both dead. What a great... You know what? It's almost as good as Doubt. 2008. Did you ever prove it? To whom? Anyone but yourself. They're my lines. Anything else, Will?
I like whenever Phillip Seymour Hoffman talks about his how he likes his fingernails.
I don't like... I mean, it's not a change for me, but I just found that,
What's it meant to... Is it meant to make him a vampire?
Cleanliness is next to godliness, I guess.
Yeah. No, but why does he insist that he likes them slightly long?
don't know. Maybe you could say that he wants the boys in his image. If you want to go really dark and perverted. I'm saying this as if this is a really light film and we're making it dark. What's the change? I've got a few.
I'll say my change first.
Shoot.
Too much use of the word doubt.
Doubt said too much.
Yay!
It's my first. I really like the first sermon because that sets the scene. I really like I have doubts, I have such doubts. Throughout, cut them, just get rid of them. The other one I don't mind is when Meryl is doing the whole, what was Father O'Flynn's sermon about? And then Amy goes, well, it was about doubt. But then it keeps going on, and then Meryl goes, doubt? And then he goes, yes, doubt. For me, just have I have doubts, I have such doubts, and the doubt sermon at the start. Yeah. Well, that's how Shanley started the play.
Go.
He knew he wanted to write a play called Doubt. He thought that was a good title, and then it came from it. Have you got any other changes?
No, that was the one that got me the most.
Too many Dutch angles. A Dutch angle is when the camera is tilted, and they usually use to reflect.
They use that a lot in The Iron Lady, and that's bad.
Yeah, they use it's typical film studies thing is that it's used to highlight upcoming danger. However, it is used to such an extent in this film that there is no danger. It is used in just regular scenes of just back and forth conversation at too many. And also another note that's far too on the nose is the wind has changed. Just get it out. Just get it out. Pardon me. However, I do love a second act of a movie that's covered in like debris, like Shutter Island. I like that setting, like a middle of the film.
The Woman in Black.
Yeah, middle of the film, thunderstorm, and then the rest is trees. Well, what's left from Will's note?
That's it.
Mm-hmm. We actually saw Will live in London, the original Sister Aloysius on Broadway.
Oh, very good.
When we went to see Glass Menagerie, we saw Cherry Jones as Amanda Wingfield. She was the original Sister Aloysius.
Brilliant. That was an interesting production of Glass Menagerie.
It was a wonderful production.
The set was phenomenal.
Astounding, yes. And Cherry Jones was wonderful.
Yes.
I love the little dance class. Blame it on the bossa nova. I just like that song. I also love any time that Amy Adams smiles in this movie. I think it is so innocent, and pure. And then also we've not talked about the bit where she snaps at little Jimmy and Jimmy gets a tear in his eye. Also, we've neglected the fact, I mean, I always neglect it a little bit because I think it's condescending, but every child performance in this film is excellent.
And
I confessed it, Father.
And whatever I have done, I have left in the healing hands of my confessor, as have you. We are the same.
No, we are not. We are not the same. A dog that bites is a dog that bites. Did you give Donald Miller wine to drink?
No.
Mental reservations?
No.
You lie. Very well, then. If you will not leave my office, I will. And
yes, I am well known for hating child actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't single one out that is shoddy.
Especially that rising star at the beginning.
guy with his bag. Let's talk about Whoa! Three. As alluded to, I love sugar in my tea. That is far too small a cup for 3 cubes. That is ridiculous. I agree with Meryl. That cup is tiny. 3 cubes, it wouldn't dissolve. It would not dissolve in that small cup.
I don't drink sugar in my tea. However, after watching that film last night, I suddenly decided this morning, probably because we had no milk, but I had a black. This is a black coffee with sugar in.
Which that's what I had in America, because
black coffee and sugar is lovely.
Lovely, yeah. Because in America they are obviously all black coffee people.
Do they not do like froth me milk or cappuccino or latte?
Oh no, obviously you can get it. You can get it all. Yeah. But the regular, like the diners, is just like you get free coffee.
Or you get your filter, yeah.
You get your one coffee, and then they come around, hey, you want more coffee? And so every time you can ask for a little saucer of milk, so I would just have it black with sugar, and it was I got quite a tooth for it. Tom's a few fun facts. Pardon me. There is no alternate ending. The ending. Do you like the ending, William?
I very much like the ending because it kind of flips the whole idea onto its head. You've got Phillip Seymour Hoffman accused of perverting his own religion and going against it. And then in the end, it was Meryl that sort of went against her beliefs to try and prove this man was guilty. And in that way, sort of lost her own religion.
Because the famous annoyance, it's the whole joke of the Gavin and Stacey bit. It was my ex's problem with it. Actually, my ex pegged it quite early on when they were doing the toy scene. And she said, you do find out, don't you? It doesn't end and you don't know. And I lied to her and I said, yeah, you find out. Because I knew that she would ask to turn it off. And she did enjoy the film, and we did have lots of conversations about it afterwards, but she was very annoyed that you didn't find out. And that is a lot of people's problem with it. They just don't like the whole ambiguity. For me, there is no film without its ambiguity, but alas. A few fun facts. Phillip Seymour Hoffman lobbied for Amy Adams to be a part of the movie, even threatening to leave the project if she wasn't cast.
Rightly so.
And they're obviously wonderful as man and wife in The Master. Viola Davis, who was nominated for the role, only appears in 2 scenes. Well, that's obvious. That's not even a fact. Oprah Winfrey reportedly lobbied for the role of Mrs. Miller, but John Patrick Shanley refused to give her a reading. Frances McDormand was the original choice for Sister Aloysius.
I don't know why, but I suddenly came up with a crazy idea that we get the shithead of the year nun from Dracula. Yeah.
Oh, from Dracula. Oh, yes.
Yeah. To play. I think she'd be.
Sister Aloysius. Well, it's not been revived. It's due a revival. It's. I think.
There you go. There's your leading lady.
There's your leading lady. It is one of those that's due a revival. I think this will be one of those classic.
I'm sure we'll go see it.
Yeah. Well, Jerusalem, our GCSE text, is getting revived with Mark Rylance again. Which actually I think is a bad choice because, I mean, it's an excellent choice. He is the role of Rooster. However, if they want to have that play keep being revived for the future and have it be a classic for all time, they need to
change it up.
You need to remove Mark Rylance from the equation. You can't just people won't play Rooster because of Rylance. You know, you look at the great streetcar revivals. We're talking 80s. We're talking late 70s. You know, Alec Baldwin coming in and doing it with Jessica Lange. Because that took some balls. It was, it was Baldwin going, oh wait, no. somebody else can do this excellently. That in the mainstream, there were obviously some smaller revivals in the 70s that led to that boom. And I think that's what you need. John Patrick Shanley offered the role of Sister James to Natalie Portman. Can we see this?
I can, yeah.
I mean, I can definitely see it. Here are the four more names for Sister Aloysius. I think all of these would work excellently. Actually, I don't know. Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Annette Bening, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Angelica Houston, I think, could do it very well, but I think I'd have to see it. I think I'd have to... it's one of those where I can't see it now, but as soon as I see that opening scene, I go, oh no, this is perfect.
Mm.
And the best one for me, Kathy Bates.
Oh, that's a... Yeah.
That is good, isn't it? Here are 3 considerations for Father Flynn. John Cusack. Don't know about that one. I mean, it's a different film that way, but anyway. David Hyde Pierce. Tom Hanks.
Yes, I think it'd be very good. I think it'd be exceptional, actually.
There are 3 people in the world, Will, who know whether or not Father Flynn is guilty. They are John Patrick Shanley. They are, what's his name? Brian something, who was the original on Broadway, who Pat Shanley told, and Phillip Seymour Hoffman, who Shanley told.
Wonderful. That's great. That's a great. If you're given that
yeah.
part and the director actually tells you the motive, it's like
well,
when.
That's the thing. That's why I want them to revive it, because I want somebody to spill.
When J.K. told Rickman that Snape was actually the goodie the whole time before she'd written all the books, and it just changes the performance, and it adds that other dimension. It's very excellent.
Because by the time that first film, she'd planned out the rest. She wrote the first couple on what was it? Like napkins, wasn't it, on a train ride? Real Rex to Riches story. Synopsis of a sequel. Do we think that Father Flynn goes on molesting, or do we think that? Let's go on the assumption that he's guilty. Do we think that this is the breaking point, and he goes, "No, I've been given my chance over and over again. I repent my sins. I won't go through with anything again"?
I don't know, because you see him break, don't you? You see him break.
What's that?
Look, I only have a few minutes. Not to be disagreeing, but if we're talking about something floating around between this priest and my son, it ain't my son's fault.
Oh, I'm not suggesting
He's just a boy.
I know.
12 years old. If someone should be taking blame, it should be the man, not the boy.
I agree with you completely.
You're agreeing with me, but I got called to the principal, if you know what I'm saying.
I am concerned about Donald's welfare.
You honestly think that priest gave Donald that wine to drink?
Yes, I do.
Then how come my son got kicked off the altar boys if it was a man that gave it to him?
Boy got caught. The man didn't.
So you're giving my son the blame.
Oh.
No problem, my son getting blamed, and you know why that
Perhaps you
is.
should let me talk.
Sister, you ain't going against no man in a robe and win. He's got the position.
And he's got your son.
Let him have him then.
What?
It's just till June.
Do you know what you're saying?
No more about it than you.
And so I'm not sure, because obviously if we're going along that line, the natural progression would just be to go to another place and just
going.
start again.
That's one of the best scenes in Spotlight, where they go and they look through the journals and they're like, wait a minute, this priest has been at 10 churches in the past 5 years. And then obviously the great scene where the guy with the mustache realizes that there's a priest living down the road, and he leaves that note on the fridge. What a film Spotlight is! Spotlight,
I
great
love
film.
Spotlight.
I'm putting it on my watch pile. It's not a very I was just about to say it's not a very rewatchable film. I don't think that's true at all. I think Spotlight is a very, very rewatchable.
It is. Michael Keaton, wonderful.
Michael Keaton, John Slattery, Rachel McAdams, Liev Schreiber. These are some of my favourite actors living and working today. I mean, wait till Mad Men, Will. You get a whole 7 seasons with John Slattery. I mean, go on. Tom's big
long
question.
way.
Yeah. Tom's big question. We touched on Diddy. Who's the best performance in this film?
Philip.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to Will's big question.
Oh.
How is it that we've done Meryl Mania and not really talked much about Meryl in all of the films? So we talked about our other favourite performances.
It's an odd one. It's weird because the reason we picked these, we've also not picked any of the films that she's won her Oscars for. Because we sort of looked at it, because obviously Deer Hunter is one of my favourite films ever made.
I don't want to do Iron Lady.
No, we're not certainly not going to do travesty, bad movie. Because we'll do, funny bad movies.
Yeah. Or
at least interesting bad movies. But Iron Lady is just bad, boring, and bad. It's weird because as I say, Deer Hunter is one of my favourite films. If we were just picking our 6 favourite movies with Meryl in them, we'd talk about her even less, I think.
Yeah.
Deer Hunter, she's excellent in, but that film is not Meryl's.
I say we've tried to pick the movies where she really shines as like the main.
Kramer versus Kramer, I've always seen as more of a Hoffman movie. She does obviously steal the show in the final court scene, but
yeah.
And
we've
then
also
you've
got Heartburn though.
Well, yeah.
So we couldn't do them both.
You can't do them both. Sophie's Choice, it's a bit dour. What's your favourite 10-minute scene? It's the bit where she has to choose between her kids in the concentration.
Synopsis of a sequel.
Yeah.
There's not much choice. I'll have the other one.
Yeah. Which actually leads us on to a category. I've got 2 things. 2 really panicky things. What's that green juice that they're all drinking at the green juice table conversation?
It's the same stuff that Steve Pemberton drinks just before he's thrown off the battle in Macbeth. That was a great Inside Number 9 reference.
That was a very low blow, yeah. Every night it gets longer. What sin did Meryl commit? Philip goes to her and he says, "Have you never committed a sin in your life?" And she snaps and she has to confess. And she goes, "Yes, I have. And do you not regret?" And she goes, "I've repented." What has Meryl done?
Wrath.
Here's a theory. I always thought she cheated on her husband when he was at war, and then the husband died, and she's always, resented that. Because obviously she hasn't killed anybody. I mean, she may have done. I've watched that movie, Meryl Streep as a murdering nun.
But then we've got Nuns on the Run for that.
Nuns on the Run for that. So let's jump to. We are now concluding Meryl Mania. Closing line Hall of Fame. I have doubts. I have such doubts. It's. I think it's a typical closing play line.
Apt.
Yeah. So now let's have a look back with fondness over Meryl Mania. We did 6 films. We did Mamma Mia, Heartburn, Postcards from the Edge, August, Osage County, Death Becomes Her, and Doubt. Will, what was your favourite Meryl performance?
My favourite Meryl performance was Death Becomes Her.
Yeah. I think me too. This is going to be quite dull. What is your favorite, of the 6 films, what was your favourite Meryl film?
It's between Death Becomes Her and Heartburn.
Yeah, again, we completely agree. I think it's Death Becomes Her. I think Death Becomes Her is the overall winner of Meryl Mania. I'm so glad that I've introduced you to Death Becomes Her. I know that it will be a film that you hold dear.
I'll show many people.
It's just great. Stick it on any time. You know, it's, as we say, it's quick, it's great. Yeah, so Madeline Ashton is the overall winner of Meryl Mania month. This is it for Meryl. I'm sure she'll pop up again. Undoubtedly, she gets where water can't. Block 4, lots to look forward to. 2 fortnights. Ready for this one? We're celebrating the horror movies of 1973. The Wicker Man, Don't Look Now, Exorcist and Theatre of Blood. Incredible. Then we've got 2 of our favourite movies getting sandwiched between the fortnights. About Time, one of your favourites, and Brassed Off, one of our joint favourites.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna,
He's doing it.
I'm doing it now. It's Woody Allen time. We're going to introduce Will and finally get him to watch some Woody Allen movies. Annie Hall, Blue Jasmine, Hannah and Her Sisters, Midnight in Paris, Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex but Were Too Afraid to Ask, and Crimes and Misdemeanors.
I'll say it now. I think the 3 I'll enjoy the most: Hannah and Her Sisters, Midnight in Paris, and Everything You Always Wanted to Know About.
Is that because you found out that Michael Caine's in Hannah and Her Sisters?
Yeah, Michael Caine's in that. We've also got Midnight in Paris, Owen Wilson.
And Rachel McAdams.
And then Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex looks fantastic. It looks brilliant.
Yeah. We'll talk about this more when we get to it. But I really wanted to span the many different facets of Woody. You know, the early sex crazy comedies of the 70s, the 80s relationship dramas, the 70s in between, the 90s. Crimes and Misdemeanors is my favourite Woody film. It's an astounding piece of filmmaking. Blue Jasmine and Midnight in Paris. You know, just when you think the guy's down, he comes up with 2 of my favourite films of the past 20 years. What a guy. But we bid farewell to Meryl. Bye-bye, Meryl. Say bye. It's all the music, the songs. Do you want another one? You want another one?
Do you want another one? Do you want another one? Give it to him. Let's go.
Dabba 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 da